Hi, Lena.
Hi, Antony. How are you?
Great. How you going?
Yeah, very, very well today. It's been a good week.
Absolutely. I'm smiling because ditto same. It's been an awesome week so far. And thank you not only for agreeing to share the session, which you did with the Symphony 7 community a couple of days ago. There's been some really good feedback from people, and there are now multiple people asking for the video, people who have been on holiday and they've missed the session. So I'll just introduce it by saying that I've had the personal privilege of having a lot of the EOS system put through one of our businesses. And all I'll say about it is it's been really simple. It's very, very easy to follow. There's the book called Traction to supplement the coaching. And it's a wonderful way. The whole EOS system I have found to be a wonderful way to systemize the running of the business. I know you call it an operating system. And yeah, it's been absolutely awesome. And for clarity, I know that there's a number of pieces of work that are done before getting to this planning in the EOS system. But for today's purposes, we're really going to hone in on how do you, well, I thank you because I know that you're going to walk through some questions, and through the questions, people will be able to get a view and clarity around where do they want to go for the whole year. And then based on the objectives and the goals at the headline level for the year, how can we then narrow it down to the most important or the most impactful thing for this first quarter? And I know you call it a rock. I'll ask you to explain it when we get there. And by the way, are you okay? I've actually got the questions that you asked on Wednesday up on a big screen in front of me. So what I'll do is I'll refer to them and I'll ask you to explain. You happy with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll kickstart us off with that piece of work we did around choosing your theme word for the year.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. Let's start with the key word.
Okay, so what we did is we wrapped a bow around 2025 and we had a quick think about what were our highlights from 2025 because we want to celebrate those successes and those milestones. I'm going to wrap a bow around that and move on to 2026. So make sure you've got something to write on or type on as we go through, and we're going to hit pause every now and again so you get that time to do the work. But the first piece we're going to do is around choosing your one word theme for the year. So this is the what's going to guide you through the course of the year. Um, is it business related? Is it personal? Is it that intersection of both? We heard alignment, we heard flow, we heard gain from somebody this morning. So yeah, pause, think about what your theme word is, and we'll set that as context for the year.
And Lena, if I can just give an example as people are about to push pause and do their own work, the word that really came to me for the whole year, based on my experiences of last year, I actually picked something on the personal front, which was health. So for me, the one word is health. I had some massive challenges last year. Thankfully, I'm just about through now. But yeah, I just know that health is the platform from which I'm going to be able to continue the expansion of two out of our three businesses. And yeah, that one word that came to mind for me was health. What was your one word?
My word for 2026 is flows. So I want to feel really good about how my life is balancing it out, how it's moving forward towards my big picture, and waking up every day feeling really energized around that activity.
Wow. Okay, amazing. So there you have it, everyone. You've got two examples. You've got mine, you've got Lena's. Maybe take a moment now, reflect, and work out what's your one word that is going to help to put a theme around this whole year that you've got in front of you. Push pause on the video as soon as you've worked it out, write it down or type it in, and then we look forward to seeing you when you come back to the video. Okay, so now that you have already covered your one word, Lena, the next question that you asked us had to do with just to think at a high level, what do we want to achieve for the year? What were the details around that one?
Yeah, so grab your legal pad or piece of paper or start typing on a blank document and just start to do a big laundry list of all of the things that you want to get done this year. So work that all out. Just get all of that stuff out of your brain. Hit pause. Might be business, might be personal related. Don't think hard about it. Dot points, and let's get that out of your head. Piece of paper.
Okay, so take the time, bring together what Lena's called your laundry list. Whatever it is, jot it down. You don't need to discern at the moment. Just jot down everything that comes to mind. As soon as you're done, come back to the video and we'll carry on. All right, now that you've got your laundry list, who knows, it might be a mind map or it might be a list. Lena, the next thing you got us to do was to hone in and to focus on, I think it was it just one?
Yeah, so what we're doing for the purposes of getting you going is we're choosing one thing on that list. What is the number one most impactful thing that you can do from that list as your goal? When you select that one, you're going to craft it up and wordsmith it so it's a SMART goal. So specific, measurable. We want 31st of December 2026 as your time bound. Measurable. So what does it actually? How are you going to measure being successful in achieving the goal? Make sure it's absolutely achievable in your goal. Is it realistic? Can you get this done this year? And then obviously, as I was saying, time bound, December 2026. That's the SMART goal. What you're going to do at the same time as well is you're going to make sure that you've got your numbers in place. If this is your business, what is your revenue and your profitability number you need to hit? It's a personal. What is your income and your savings level that you need to hit here so that you've got those resources in your business or your life to be able to start to hit your goals forward that you really want in your lifetime. Okay, so pick one goal, make it a SMART goal, make sure you've got your numbers. You might want to include some other measurables. If it's a business, it might be I want to hit this number of clients or I want to do a number of presentations to new prospects. If it's personal, it might be a fitness goal in terms of being able to lift a certain amount. Only you know that piece best.
So, Lena, just to help see the thinking for anyone who's watching the video, I'll just share the goal that I set when you took us through the process. I honed in on a goal for the Gaddie growth business, and I said that by May of this year, we wish to launch the second round of the Gaddie growth program with at least 15 organizations on the program, all subscribing at 1.5K per month each. So it was time bound. It had numbers in there to measure very specifically. We're either on that number or we're off that number. And yeah, that's one key thing. And I know if we get that goal done, it will feed a number of other goals. So that goal stood out as really important for me.
Fantastic. Great goal. Okay, hit pause now. Make sure you've got your numbers, your number one SMART goal, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, cool. So once we had set the goal, the next thing that you got us to do, once we had set the goal at the high level with specificity and words and measures, the SMART goal, the next thing you got us to look at was a rock for Q1. First of all, what is a rock? I know what a rock is at the beach, but what's a rock in EOS terms?
Yeah, so a rock is something in your 90-day world, so quarterly. If you imagine your 90 days is a jar, and you know the analogy, you've got to put your rocks in the jar first. So your biggest impact, most important things must go in first. And then you have the space to fill it up with the pebbles and the sand and the water and all the other things. But if you fill it up with water and allow yourself to be distracted from the wrong things don't help you move forward. If you fill it up with water, there's no room for rocks. So that's where the terminology comes from. A little word about your goals. If you really feel a burning desire to have more than one goal, please, less is more. If you've got to have more than one goal, please make it no more than 3. Be laser focused on moving yourself or your business and your life forward this year in the way that you need with your teamwork. So let's bring it down to rocks. When we look at that one goal that you set for yourself, what is then the most impactful thing that you can do in the next 90 days between now and April that will help you get going on that one important goal? So again, make it smart, so specific, measurable, achievable, something you can do in the next 90 days, notwithstanding long weekends as well, and like we're busy. Make it realistic. We're going to meet again, working on it in the future. So spend some time now to craft that one out for yourself.
Lena, can I just double clarify? You said pick only one. Was that one goal or one rock for the quarter?
Yeah, for the purposes of helping you to put the framework in place, I'm asking you to choose one goal and then choose one rock. What I would do with teams and businesses where there are teams of people to get things done, they might end up with 3 rocks for that quarter, and they might end up with 4 or 5 goals for their year. But that is a time and a resource thing. So what we want to do is get you laser focused. If you need to put more than one goal in there, make sure that you know exactly how those things are going to be achieved through the setting of rocks quarters of the year.
Okay, so for the purposes of getting an understanding of how the system works, you're recommending pick one goal, and right now, as part of the exercise, pick one rock. And I love how you've described the rock and the sand and the water, because I know in the past I've been pleasantly guilty of putting together a massive to-do list and then picking on the easy items, thinking I'm getting a lot of stuff done. Hey, that's cool. But what you're saying is it's not about getting a lot of stuff done. It's actually about working out what's the goal, and based on the goal, what is the measurable rock for the quarter. And then once you know what the rock is, then organize your actions and activities to make sure that whatever you do, you're going to get that rock done for the quarter.
Exactly.
Okay, so now that we know what a rock is, please, we invite you, push pause on the video and work out, based on your headline goal that you've set, what's the one thing which, if you got this thing done, it'll be the most impactful thing that you can get done in this quarter in terms of shifting the needle and getting closer to that goal that you set. Take as long as you need to work out your rock. And I heard Lena say, again, be concise, be precise, word it in a way where you'll know that you've either achieved the rock or you haven't by the end of the quarter. Don't make it a fluffy, I kind of want to sort of want to do that. It's, I want to do this and I want to do X amount by X date is the end of the quarter. And once you've set the rock, come on back to the video and we'll take you to the next step. All right, welcome back. And now that you've got your rock, Lena, the next thing that you spoke us through was actions relating to the rock. How does that work?
Yes. So your 90-day world very quickly turns into your 7-day world, which very quickly guides the activity and the things that you do every single day. So now we're looking at that rock, and we're looking at the very specific steps that need to occur to make it a reality and to be able to say done. So if you've crafted a smart rock, done means 100% done. Not done is anything less than 100% of what you have committed yourself to doing.
So it's black or white, it's 1 or 0. There's nothing in the middle. It's either done or it's not done.
Yeah, and it sounds brutal, but there's a couple of real learnings behind that. One is if we don't quite get things done, there's learnings and messages in that. We're biting off more than we can chew. Are we not being specific enough? Were we relying on things that we needed to set up beforehand before we could, have we not taken into account dependencies and things like that. So all of those things help you be better the next time around. And then the other thing is that the real traction and forward momentum in your business and your life comes from doing the things that you told yourself you're going to do. And that's ultimate accountability. And we're going to move on to accountability in a minute and support each other through that. But the ultimate accountability is to yourself when you wake up in the mirror.
Clear. So what's the precise action to take now with setting up the actions?
Be very specific what needs to happen in your 90 days to make this rock a complete 100% done.
Lena, does it matter how long the list is? Does it need to be concise or does it need to be detailed? What's the best way?
It needs to be very clear and understandable to you.
Okay. So for me now, my rock relating to the growth outcome for Gaddie Growth was to get the next cohort going, at least 15 businesses. That was the goal. The rock for me was to get every last inch of collateral prepared. So all of the marketing, the website, everything that needs to be made ready so that we can approach the various organizations and take them through. And when they say, okay, so what does it mean? Or can you send me something? Or can I see this on your website? All of that, the whole lot's got to be ready within the first quarter. That's the rock.
So you've got two plans there. You've got to have 15 businesses. How many value conversations do I need to have with different people to reach that 15? What is your typical conversion from those value conversations? And then the other one is literally, what is the list of resources you've got to get done? What of those are done already? And actually, what's the time? What's the T-shirt size, the time and the effort needed to get those other ones done and get that in your diary?
Clear. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the list of actions that I made, but I think you've made it very clear what needs to be done now. So essentially, what we're inviting you to do is to look at your rock and now work out, based on achieving that rock within the quarter, work out all the steps that need to be taken so that if you put a tick against each one of those actions, the rock will come true, it will be done.
Done, exactly.
Okay, so take as long as you need for that. Push pause on the video, and we invite you as soon as you're done with that, come back and we'll take you through the last part. Welcome back. Hopefully your action list is clear and easy enough for you to follow. That's the key thing that I took away from Lena. It's not for everybody else. It's a list that you need to be able to follow. And now that you've got that done, we want to talk about accountability. Lena, I've got to tell you that I train quite a lot in the gym. I wouldn't say I'm a gym junkie, but I do enjoy being there. It feels like an attitude, a lifestyle. And last year, I actually broke my bench press record, which stood for something like 30 years. So I set that record in my 20s and then I broke it. The key thing to mention is I didn't break it just as a coincidence. And the important thing is I didn't break that record by myself. I have a buddy who he's actually a leader at the ANZ Bank, and quite often we would be in the gym together and I set the goal in his presence and he said, absolutely, that's a great goal. Of course you can do it. So with his support and with his encouragement, I began training to reach the goal. And on a given day, he actually came to spot me in case I was in trouble. I don't want the weight to fall down on my head or worse on my throat. And because he was in the gym, it really encouraged me to get there. Maybe I would have got there by myself anyway. But the fact that I had this buddy that I was working on the goal with, it really helped me a lot. And I'm sure a lot of people have had the experience of turning up to gym and feeling if I'm there with a buddy or a couple of buddies, I'm more likely to do it. And the conversation around what we're doing and how it's easier to make progress when you've got a cohort than when you're isolated and by yourself. for most people, not everyone. Some people might want to do it alone, but I've noticed the vast majority of people are more likely to get where they're trying to go if they vocalize it, they say, this is what I'm trying to do, and they catch up with, I'm going to call it buddies, you call it implementation buddies, who encourage. And, if I don't quite get to my goal for the week, they don't put me down and criticize me and call me a loser. It's more about, okay, so what went wrong last week? Okay, what are you going to do this week? It's more about encouraging and supporting each other and uplift. How does this apply in implementation and implementation buddies in the world of EOS?
Yeah, so having that person that you're staying accountable to, not only gives you clarity around what it is that you're trying to get done, because if you can't articulate it to that person, maybe you don't have the clarity that you need around it first. Transparency, so I'm committing to myself enough that I'm sharing it with you. And again, that's what network of checking in on a regular basis. So we're going to do accountability buddies. So send your preference through. Someone from within the network, great ideas to all on this journey together. And then work out with your accountability buddy whether you're going to send a daily text or a weekly text or connect it 10 minutes at a certain time every week. Or how is that going to work? Does it need to be regular? It needs to be short so that you stick to it. It's something really easy to integrate. And you need to be consistent in your commitment to that so that you are providing that support to each other. And then if you want to branch out into connection and conversation, then all the better.
Lena, can I share just by way of example how I have set up some of these groups, but equally I'm kind of asking the question of you to test how it works for you and in the world of EOS. I've noticed that a regular meeting, you mentioned regular, for me, regular is once a week. And I've noticed that when we've set these up in the past, typically we've said, okay, we're just going to make it 10 minutes on a Friday. So it's not a 1 hour meeting that's going to take an hour every week. It's more like a stand-up meeting. We get to the point quickly. We enjoy the catch-up. We enjoy the engagement. Check in. How's it going? Yep, this has gone good, but I had a little challenge there. Okay, here's an idea you might want to think about. What about you? How are you going? And I've also noticed that groups of 3 tend to work pretty well, because that way, if one person for some reason has to get to an appointment or something and they can't make it, then you've still got 2 people in the group, so that people who can make it are not let down. They don't need to miss a meeting. How does that weigh up in terms of the EOS way of doing things, specifically 3 people in a group and the frequency and duration of the meeting?
Yes, so this is something that has to work for you. So what we're aiming for is that that regular cadence, something that's easy to integrate, and something that with either 1 or 2 people, that's your choice, that you feel connected to or are willing to be vulnerable with, that have that same growth mindset that you do, because in 2026 we want to grow and achieve.
Amazing, amazing. So a couple of things I heard there. One is try and select people where you feel comfortable to just be open and vulnerable. And yeah, you've just reiterated that it's not about criticizing each other for anything. It is about supporting each other, and it is about pleasantly holding each other accountable.
Yeah,
So if someone misses something, they doesn't do what they said they would, learning from you, it's about finding the balance between holding them accountable and encouraging them. So we never want to criticize and put someone down. But that said, we don't want to say, don't worry, she'll be right, mate. Better luck next time.
Yeah, open and honest. Because remember, we spent a lot of time in 2025 in Symphony 7, as you know, and talking about helping all boats rise. And the way we do that is to help others, support each other, and all understand that we're on this amazing journey together.
Amazing. Lena, in all its simplicity, that was the process that you walked us through. There's already multiple members who have asked me to thank you, saying it's really simple, very easy to follow, and well facilitated. So thank you for that. If you're watching this video and you are a subscribing member of Symphony 7, the steps from here are very easy and very clear. Ideally, by now, you've gone through the exercise. You've actually got your goal, you've got your rock, you've got your actions, you've got your one word that is the theme for the year. So you've answered all the questions. Please make sure that your answers are really concise, because what we're inviting you to do now is to actually share that information with Christine. The clear intention is that we are going to capture the information, and within the confines of Symphony 7, meaning as a member of Symphony 7, we're all bound to keep this information confidential. This is not for publishing or discussing with other people outside of the Symphony 7 bubble. And we want to take accountability over this quarter that all of us will ensure that all of us have the best chances of actually meeting our rock, of achieving our rock. So we'll take that forwards one meeting at a time. The step that we're inviting you to take now is just to submit your information to Christine. And Christine will capture it, and we'll have a document that we'll all be able to look at. So you'll be able to see not only your goals and the rock, but you'll be able to see all the other people who wish to participate. And ideally, what we're going to do is, number one is, we didn't give you an action in terms of the buddies. For the action for the accountability buddies, please name 3 people who you know are members of Symphony 7 that you would be happy to be an accountability buddy with. We asked you to name 3 because potentially the first person you put on your list is already in somebody else's group. So we'll do our best to pair you up with people that you nominate. We hope that we can do that. Those accountability buddies will be in groups, and then we'll share some suggested instructions around how to get the group going and how to then hold your meetings. And that in parallel with publishing only to the Symphony 7 people, everyone who's participating, your goal, your rock, and your one word, your theme for the year. If you are watching this clip and you are not a subscribing member of Symphony 7, then there's a simple action you can take. You can reach out to me and we can have a chat about what it means to be a member of Symphony 7 and the potential to include you. The easy way to get hold of me is to just drop me an email, Antony with no H, at Symphony7, SYMPHONY, and then the digit 7.earth, as in planet Earth. I want to close out once again by saying thank you, Lena, for sharing. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yes, this has been I'm going to call it a one recording wonder. This is our first recording, and I think it's captured.
If anyone in Symphony 7 who has not yet received a gift from me, which is a copy of the book Traction, and they want to know more about the business operating framework, then just reach out to me, please. I'm more than happy to send you that gift.
I've just reached out to my bookshelf. This is the book, and it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. It's really easy to read. The process that we've just covered is in here. Amazingly, pretty much the whole EOS system is in here. And yeah, I know if you read the book and you get stuck, you could invite Lena to become your EOS coach.
I love talking to people.
Awesome. Thanks, Lena. And,
all right.
yeah, look forward to hearing from people with your goals.
I'm very excited for the 2026 we're all going to have.